My name is Lena Galba and I'm here with the business show for Yalla TV. Today I have a real estate mogul with us. He's also a philanthropist and a family man, and he spreads his positivity wherever he goes. He's a true inspiration. I have Mr. Ashish Bhutani, CEO and MD of the Bhutani Group.
Thank you for having us here.
Thank you for letting us do this interview, Mr. Ashish. It's a great honor to meet you today.
Pleasure is all mine.
Right, I think our viewers would like to know, because you're such an inspiration to so many people out there, how did your journey begin? A little bit about your childhood. You obviously grew up in India, but I know you're educated in the UK, my home country. So yes. I think a little bit about your childhood, your university years, please.
I'll begin with my university years. What happened when I was studying there, one of the first jobs I had was in real estate back in 2002. And when I was selling real estate, what I realized was it was more passionate than anything I'd ever done before. So gradually, after a few months of selling, I realized one thing: this is what I want to do for the rest of my life. And that is when my journey truly began. My family always was into real estate, but that was not the reason I ventured into real estate. My reason was clear and crystal. I wanted to do innovations. I wanted to do things that had never been attempted before. That was always the journey I wanted to embark on.
And that really shows, actually, because Mr. Ashish, you have done some remarkable things in India. I have read a little bit about all your estate projects, your real estate projects. We have Alpha Thumb, Cyber Thumb, Grand Thumb. All have a very different feel and look, modern architecture, great infrastructure. Please tell us a little bit about each of these projects and what's so different about them compared to other real estate developers.
First of all, I never do any comparisons. My only competition is with myself, how to improve my buildings. Journey began back in ITHM, that was 2009, when we were doing real estate. And once we delivered that, the next challenge came: how do we better it?
Right.
Came Alpha Thumb. Alpha Thumb is 3 towers which houses the largest rooftop infinity pool in the whole world. That was the time when I realized, when we launched it, the kind of traction we were getting for it, the kind of responses we were getting for it were so phenomenal. We realized this is the kind of architecture that India needs. And I'll not lie, I'm very inspired from Dubai. The way architecture is, everything has to be the largest, the biggest, number one, the tallest, yes. And that is what, when my realization came, that is what real estate is all about. I always emphasize on one thing: landmarks. Tell me, give me an example of a building in New York, a landmark in New York.
Empire State Building.
Absolutely correct. Tell me, what year was it delivered in?
I'm sorry, I'm not that good at architecture.
1931. It's been almost 90 years now, and it's still going strong. No offense, but my bet is nobody in this room or whatsoever would even know what the building right next door is. Once a landmark becomes a landmark, it goes on for generations. And that is what the philosophy of Bhutani Group is all about. Try and create landmarks that last for generations and generations.
Right.
They should be your money earners, your salary. You should not be dependent on your salary. You should be dependent on the money that is coming from the asset that you have bought.
Right.
Came Cyber Thumb. Once Cyber Thumb we were planning, the another challenge that came was how do we better Alpha Thumb, which was one of the best, most hyped up projects in India. And Cyber Thumb, what we decided, I was in Singapore and I was at a convention. Somebody asked me, what is the future of retail? See, in places like Delhi or Mumbai or London or New York, because the spaces are so tight, the retail needs to go vertical for it to be affordable.
Right, okay.
Correct. So I said it will go vertical, and they said no, it's not possible. That was the time I said, fine, I'll come back with an answer to you. 60 days later, I drew a building which had 2 towers and it had a mall in the sky in the middle.
This sounds fabulous. A mall in the sky.
It's a mall in the sky. It's the first mall in the sky in the world.
Yes,
that's what Cyber Thumb is. And that is when we realized, no, it needs more. Then we added one of the best fountains, retail all around it, office buildings. We made one of the best projects again in India. And then came Grantham. Now with Grantham we faced another challenge. We just delivered Alphatham. Alphatham was already delivered. People were going all gaga over it. And Cybertham people really loved the concepts. Now came Grantham, we had to come up with something more unique, right? What happened was, I was again chitter-chatting, breaking ideas with my entire think tank. We were discussing how do we innovate, what is the problem that people from Delhi have. They do not have any sea, right? And people crave for water bodies, people crave for water. So what we created was a yacht park in the middle of land where there is no sea around. We created an artificial water body in a few acres and parked a yacht, boats around it, and then the entire retail, office buildings were all focused around it.
Amazing. See, this is what I really love. You have such innovative ideas, and this is what makes you so inspirational, because they're fresh, they're new, and they really actually work. They're practical as well.
Absolutely.
You make them happen.
Yes.
So COVID-19, the pandemic, which has swept across the world in the last 2 years, caused a real nosedive in real estate, and people were investing less and less. However, you managed to sell 1,000 units of Alphatham in a very short space of time. How did you manage to achieve this amazing feat?
Very honestly, I can't take the entire credit for it. COVID, people think that real estate was hit by COVID-19, but on the contrary, real estate got boosted by COVID-19.
Really?
Yes, there were a lot of people who wanted to shift to bigger houses, bigger apartments. They wanted to secure their future by investing into commercial properties. So if their salaries are on hold, their rents could be coming. Dubai is a prime example. Most of the places, the prices have gone up by 70%. You talk about India, Delhi, Mumbai, all of these places, barring a few, of course, there are a few exceptions everywhere, but most of the places, the demand has just skyrocketed. People during this pandemic now want to secure their future.
Really?
They do not want to be dependent on the salaries they were getting.
That makes sense, actually. Yeah.
Yes. With the uncertain times, there are only two options to secure themselves. Either it's via commercial real estate or to upgrade themselves for better living. 25 to 30% of annual salary of most people goes into traveling. With traveling being on a complete standstill, all the money being saved right now is being used to invest into real estate. What people have now realized, the more they invest, the quicker they can secure their future, the better it is for their entire family.
Of course, that makes sense.
That was the reason why once we came up in Alphatham, there was something we came up, 8% annualized return on a delivered project, and we gave a guarantee, pandemic, no pandemic, your rent will not stop. And it was backed by a major bank as well. That was a reason why everybody, and I think if we had more units, we would have sold more units. We got oversubscribed 3 times.
That's remarkable. But again, very exactly, I want to know how in such a short space of time, was it your team or did you have some marketing strategy which...
See, the marketing strategy was obviously there. As I said, it was 8% annualized return. Okay. Despite people, when they're scared of a pandemic, they want to secure their family first.
Of course.
People have lost their loved ones, their close ones. Everybody has taken a loss in India. I think it was one of the worst hit regions in the entire world when the Delta variant came. So once it subsided a little, everybody knew one thing: they need to secure their family and their future.
Okay, so thank you so much about telling us about the real estate in India. Now you are expanding, and we hope so too. You are in the UAE, so can you tell us a little bit about any projects that you're going to be starting up here, or what are your plans for the UAE?
God willingly, yes, very, very soon. We are scouting for locations.
Okay.
Nothing finalized yet, but yes.
We want to see some similar things such as Alphatham and Cybertham and Grantham. I mean, these were amazing. So we want to see that sort of buildings here.
Of course. We in fact launch our marquee project. It's called Bhutani 18. It's a super luxury residential.
Really? Okay.
Yes, and our hotel chains, it's called the Bhutani Experience. So those are the two verticals we plan to bring into Dubai.
They'll be coming to the UAE, the hotel?
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely.
Great. Can't wait, looking forward. I'm going to come and stay in one of those, I think.
Most welcome. Most welcome.
So, also, you started a mall, I think, called Johar Bazaar. I mean, that's an interesting project as well.
2012, we launched World Square Mall. That was one of the first malls I personally built. It was majorly a lease-based model, and with God's grace, whenever you see a shopping mall, 6 years down the line, there's a thumb rule that 50% of the brands would change.
Right.
And our attrition rate is only 6%. So 94% of the brands are still the same 9 years ago that they opened.
So they're booming, they're doing well.
Yes, because that's the strategy we try and adopt. We try and give the people, our tenants, the people who are coming in, a wholesome experience. Whether it's by events or by different things.
So Mr. Ashish Bhutani, what's next for you? Because you seem to have achieved so much, like I said, at a young age. Professional, on a personal level, what is next for someone like you?
I never divulge the details of what is next, but yes, it's something very, very exciting. That's
Good.
all I can tell.
We're looking forward. Thank you so much for your time today. Really appreciate you taking your time out of your busy schedule to be with us at Yalla TV. Good luck for all your future endeavours.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. So there you have it. We've had an exclusive interview with Mr. Ashish Bhutani, MD and CEO of the Bhutani Group. He's an absolutely inspiration to many, being a real estate mogul, a philanthropist, a family man, and balances it beautifully. Thank you so much to Mr. Ashish. This is Lena Galba for Yalla TV.